for this. This is for some people bad news, for some people celebratory news. Netflix's The Witcher. Obviously, we all knew that Henry Cavill left after season three, and after watching season three, I do not blame the guy. Obviously, he's a super fan. He's part of the reasons why a lot of people stuck to that show. They loved him as this character. And I think the general gist of how those seasons have performed has just been the definition of the word losing interest, depreciating value. And season one, season two felt like a bit of a drop. Season three, my goodness, none of us even finished it properly, you know? And we loved the first season, especially me and you, Neil. TBK, did you get around to watching Witcher?
Not yet. I haven't really followed the whole
I would still recommend
story.
the first season. It's the one of the best things Netflix has made, you know, and it's sort of an anthology series of a Monster Hunter. I think you still thoroughly enjoy it. And honestly, what happens after that doesn't matter because the story itself is pretty incredible. But Neil, I think this one is more for you. How do you feel about the fact that Netflix initially they were saying they might go on for 7 seasons plus with multiple spin-offs. Right now they've cut it down to 5 seasons.
I mean, clearly it shows. I don't know how good is gonna be. Liam Hemsworth is gonna be. I mean, if he does well, all power to him, you know. But Henry Cavill, man, he's played the role of Geralt so good. The man portrayed Geralt of Rivia. He's so good at portraying all these pop culture icons: Superman,
He's
Geralt
a
of
fan. He's
Rivia.
clearly a fan. He like they on set they
Well,
mentioned
the
like he
fact
put
that he's a fan, exactly like you said.
yeah, he had they described him as having an encyclopedic knowledge of the lore and the books and where things in the shows would contradicted, and it like he would kind of outgeek the writers themselves. There's a lot of reports out there, everybody's free to check them out, but obviously he left for his own reasons. He's never publicly stated why, but I think we can all make an educated guess, you know, based on the
I mean,
quality of the
clearly
seasons.
Yeah, the
some
creative differences have got to be right. Like,
yeah, creative differences,
he's so
exactly.
passionate about the character. He's so passionate about the story.
He's I mean as a director or a writer, I would love if my actors would have such passion for the role they're playing.
Enthusiasm, yeah, and he put it also in his fitness. Like
Yeah, exactly. He's built. I mean, you know, when Witcher came out, I had my hope for it wasn't that high. I mean, so many other video games slash novel movies, the adaptation, I just don't know how well it's gonna do. And then
but that first
to
season though.
it's so good. The first episode like captivated completely.
I know. I'm like, oh, when he gets the title of Butcher of Blaviken, that
Exactly. Uh,
my God.
it's so good. It's season one was the only season I managed to rewatch. That's because I want to remember what happened before season two. Then I saw that at the beginning they did like a small recap time. I'm like, oh my god, I just
Don't you hate it
I
whenever
just
you
sat
you
through the
put in
entire season as a recap.
when you put in the homework and they're like, yeah, homework's not necessary. It's like, oh boy. But yes,
This is I mean
yeah, sorry, go on.
I mean, like if you ask me, they cut the seasons. It just seems like Netflix is losing confidence in the show. Either that or their showrunners are like, you know what, we have done what we can, and we're done with this sort of.
Exactly,
All,
exactly. And I
all
think,
I hope is good.
yeah, I would love for us to at least, you know what? I kind of dropped out of season three, but I would pick up season four just to get a glimpse of what Liam Hemsworth is doing with it. I don't think the whatever goes wrong with Netflix, which I don't think he's the one to blame. You know, I feel like he's being set up to take the fall almost. But
I
is
think
this
it's down to the fan backlash, and maybe they don't like where the direction of the show is going. So maybe they thought, yeah, why not before we make this even worse than it already is, just like canning it.
exactly, yeah, like they're not making much money from a depreciating value product. And also Netflix in general, they usually make most of their monies from season one because that's where most of the new subscribers come in. I've said this for a long time. If 100 people watch a show or 1 million people watch a show, it doesn't net Netflix a dollar more. What matters to them is subscriber count increase. So that's why stuff like the first season of Witcher was on their dashboards because that became bigger than the Netflix program itself. It was, I think, the top 10 most watched shows that year. And I honestly say it deserved it. There are not that many great fantasy adaptations out there. You know, you got your Lord of the Rings and maybe Harry Potter, but then after that it becomes a little bit of a tricky road. And Witcher is a really good. The first season was really great. I love the anthology aspect too. Also, of like each episode is like him hunting down a different kind of monster. TBK, I think you really enjoyed if you ever decide to pick it up.
Sounds a bit like Samurai Jack, right?
It does sound like Samurai Jack a little bit. Yeah, now that I mention it.
A classic.
He's great. He's both like a philosopher at the same time being a very well-equipped hunter. And it's incredible. I love that brains and brawn, not brains versus brawn, brains and brawns that he brings to it.